Hi, it's Elaine Hamilton from the Reiki Center, and I wanted to have a little kind of distinction between the 5D and the 3D law of attraction, because law of attraction is always a great topic, right? But I think it's an important information for you guys in terms of how law of attraction is changing. So now when I refer to 3D, 5D, 3D is essentially, we're very familiar with it. It's our body, it's our mind, it's our emotional states. And we have been very wrapped up in the 3D kind of life, right? Like we grow up in it and we think that's all it is, and it's just me and I'm me against the world, and I have to make a living, and I have to. So law of attraction in the past has been very much about goal oriented. What is it that I want? And a lot of techniques around law of attraction is you need to know what you want, and then you need to like blind focus towards it, and everything that you do has to step you closer to your goal. So it's very mind orientated. It comes from here, you think about it here, you project it out, and then you make everything else follow it. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't have value. Of course it does have value, but what I'm saying is that the new earth energy coming in makes this type of thinking obsolete. So moving forwards into the 5D energy is a raise in consciousness. And what that means is that we become more and more aware of our greater selves. It's like an upgrade, right? So many of you I know are feeling this in terms of you're starting to look at your 3D life and go, is that it? Like, really, is it just about what I can accumulate, what I can amass in this life, and then I die, and then what happens to all that stuff, right? What happens to all those achievements? I mean, who really cares at the end of the day? So this kind of the 3D drive towards validation, right? Like if I achieve a lot, and if I become successful, and if people tell me that I'm a good person, that I must be a good person, all that kind of stuff, I know for many of you is becoming less and less important, right? If we're just sitting here and we're like, here we are in COVID, here we are, it's like lots of things we can't do. We're starting to really look at our priorities. What is it that we're actually here for? And right on cue, as all this is happening, the 5D energy is really coming to the forefront of the way many of us are starting to feel our energy systems. And so the biggest change for lots of us is becoming more and more connected to this fifth dimensional energy, or what you might call your life force. It's like for us doing Reiki, we're very familiar with this, but even for those of you who are doing Reiki, notice how your Reiki has become more personal. So whereas before in the more 3D thinking, Reiki was coming from the universe and into our bodies, like two separate things, right? The Reiki and then into our bodies, and we were then like using Reiki to make our three-dimensional experience more pleasant. Now, notice as you do your Reiki, like what really is the 3D? What is the Reiki? Are you and the Reiki not the same thing? Are you not more merged with the way Reiki is working? Is Reiki not more holistic as it runs through your body? And are you not feeling more merged and connected with the Reiki itself? So what I'm really pointing to is this very new awareness, I guess, or growing awareness. I know many of you have had this awareness already, but it's growing, right? And then there's lots of other people who you might be noticing they had no awareness of energy or spirituality, and suddenly they're all popping into it, and they're all starting to question the greater purpose. Now, that's really because this 5D energy is becoming center stage. So it was a bit like, in the past, way back, you had this very physical kind of movement of energy where it was all about survival, right? And no one was really that intelligent. And then the intelligence started coming in, and then the emotional intelligence started coming in, and now we have the spiritual intelligence coming in. So this is just a natural evolution of our humanity. Now, the way it's changing law of attraction is it's no longer mental. Okay, so the most important shift that you need to start feeling into and working with is your spiritual intelligence. And what I mean by that is it's values driven. What is it within yourself that you are truly drawn to contribute? And by contribute, you could look at it as of service. So how are you feeling drawn or have a yearning for or feel propelled towards leaving this planet a better place? Now, for some of you, it could be creativity, it could be arts, it could be beauty. For others, it's going to be more intellectual. Perhaps you're a scientist, perhaps you're looking for making the place better with breakthroughs and greater understanding. For others, it's going to be of service. Maybe you're a healer. Maybe you help people to move through their own journeys. And then for other people, it is going to be, within the corporate world, you are going to be helping make this place a better place simply by providing, jobs and providing good work environments and all that kind of thing. So there's no real difference necessarily in terms of what we're doing, but the focus, especially around law of attraction, needs to shift into what is it that is really calling you? What is it that's really motivating you? And that is that 5D potential energy that's coming through in terms of, the value. So what is your value proposition, if you like? In terms of what it is that you're trying to evoke or come into alignment with your truth, your own vibratory journey through this planet or through this lifetime. And it might sound really etheric, but it's actually not really. Like, if you really think about what is it that really gives you, makes you feel really good, makes you feel really good about being alive, or really makes you feel good about your ability to kind of produce something. And that is really where the 5D energy is. And the law of attraction has shifted into that direction. So instead of knowing what you want at the end, the difference now is you need to know who you are at the beginning, who is here now. And by who, I don't mean you and your mind and all your belief systems and all your history. I mean the life force. What is the life force coming out of you? What is it trying to express? Now, if you simply play with that, like, okay, this life force is trying to express this or that, and you simply stay connected with that, and that's your job. That's your law of attraction job, is to line up with that. Because then what will start to happen is you will get the next step. Now, once you get the next step, obviously you need to act on it, right? You need to do something with it and build whatever it is that you're being called to build. But stop trying to think yourself into the future and really come back into what right now am I trying to express, and stay with that expression. Now, it might feel, kind of a bit weird in the beginning because we're so used to trying to do something and know something and, I need to know where I'm going. I mean, I think clearly in the last 2 years, that's just completely out the window. And the more you relax about that, the easier it is, honestly, in order to get into this frame of mind of, okay, I just need to know what it is that's trying to express out of me. That's all I need to know. And then just stay with that, meditate with that, expand with that, just be okay with that. And then when you're in that space, what is coming up for you to do next? Now, that is the new law of attraction. It's very, very different to what we've been doing before, but I really encourage you to experiment with it and play with it, because the old stuff, sure, it's still working, but it's still working on a 3D level. And you're going to notice it's just giving you less and less and less and less kind of juice with it. because we're done with that. Like the 3D is so done, it's so over. I can't even be bothered to talk about it anymore, to be honest. And I'm sure you guys are starting to feel this as well. It's like all eyes are on this new energy that's coming in. It will also help you to assimilate a lot better, because what's happening with the 5D energy is there is a sense of intensity, like intense energy. The body's trying to keep up, the mind's trying to make sense of it. And if you're still trying to make sense of it in a very 3D manner, it's going to cause a lot of anxiety, because you can't plan, right? Like you can't know the future. So you've got to let go of all these tools. These tools are just not working anymore, and you need to really start finding your peace. And actually, there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of optimism, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of love and support in the 5D energy. So if you start to focus more and more on that, and it's values based and it's compassionate and it's very big, then you will start to feel much better, because that intensity of energy, you will have a place for it. It will make sense. Like right now, it makes no sense because you're not framing it correctly. If you're one of these people that's finding a lot of anxiety coming up around it, because you're still playing small. So the energy has expanded way beyond our smallness, and you really need to keep up with that. Like you are much, much bigger now. So that small little part of you needs to just kind of be okay with that, essentially. Like we're playing a bigger game now, much, much bigger game. And it's really important for all of us. Unless, you don't want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Then you will have your anxiety and you'll have your panic attacks and you'll have your smallness still. Of course, there's always a choice. But what I'm inviting for many of you is just step into your bigness, step into this next phase that's now here. There's no more waiting. There's no more letting it come in. There's no more, all of that is done. It is here. It's been here for a couple of months now. And I'm sure you've noticed the intensity is ramping up. Now, this intensity is not going to go away, okay? Because this is the new energy. So either you make friends with it and you start to see how it's actually really expanding you, and with that expansion, okay, what is this yearning in your heart? Like, what is it that you really want to contribute to this planet? And knowing that this bigness is now upon you, what are you going to do about it? Right? Exciting. So just start to shift your framework, and just let me know how it's going, and wishing you lots of love and good luck.